Namaskar, मेरे मित्रों. This is Professor A.G. Iyer on my show, the Professor Iyer's Infra Show. And today, on our continuing discussions of energy futures, 21st century, we are discussing the Indo-Bhutan hydropower and renewable energy, the opportunities, possibilities, and the way initially it moved through the bilateral. And we have two very eminent guests of honors today who are on my program. One is R.N. Khazanchi Saab, who is the Drup Thukse and former, MD of Pune Sanchu Hydropower Authority, which has two projects, the PHPA 1 and PHPA 2, both 1000 megawatt plus. And we have none other than on the other side, Sri A.K. Mishra. Arvind K. Mishra is another doyen who has actually earned the accolade of finishing the fastest possible way the Mangdechu hydroelectric project of 720 megawatt in Bhutan, and this is also a landmark project. Just like Khazanchi Saab finished the Tala project of 1020 megawatt of quite a few years back. It was the Sarkar 2007-2008, and this latest project was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi in August of 2019, and we are 2 years down the line with both Arvind Mishra Saab and Khazanchi Saab. But since Khazanchi Saab had some technical issues, as usual, from his NHPC colony, we are waiting for him. So as and when he joins, we will bring him on the line. But let me begin with Arvind Mishra Saab. First, the first point that I want to ask is, Bhutan has come up finally with a new sustainable hydropower development policy, 2021. And we were going through that entire document of Bhutan. It seems Bhutan has become more proactive, not leaving everything to the bilateral now. They have now become proactive and putting up on the paper what they want. It's like when I see the hydropower policy, it is more like Bhutan what it wants to do kind of policy, and it is very happy to see that Bhutan has come up with about 39 to 40 gigawatt in the policy roadmap that they have done. So पहले तो भारत कह रहा था कि 30 gigawatt की बात हो रही थी, पर मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा कि Bhutan itself is now talking of 39 gigawatt to be built up in the hydropower sector. So that's a very good sign. I start with this very positive vibe coming from our best friend in the whole world called Bhutan, a fledgling neighbor in terms of population, 7.5 lakh people. But in terms of, I would say, borders with India, it's a very big country, almost sandwiched between the Tibet and India. And it's a very important strategic friend of India in the SAARC region. So I see what Bhutan is visualizing, that it can do 39 gigawatt, must be a very important aspect, and India must not only reciprocate, but now we must start thinking of how to fast track these projects. And with that idea, I want to start, because I know from your side, you have certain issues which you will continue to say that we have to move faster. So I want you to tell me how Bhutan has come up with a, kind of a mega program, 39 gigawatt. It is all on now. It's on the policy dimension, which is called the Sustainable Hydropower Development Policy of 2021, and it's very recent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just bolo. अरे मैं तो शुरू हो गई.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to convey my personal thanks to you for inviting me in this discussion, along with Mr. Khazanchi, who has done a lot of work in hydropower sector, both in India and in Bhutan. Especially with respect to Bhutan, as you are telling that their policy document is indicating something like 13,000 megawatt, to be exploited in the coming years. In this regard, I just would like to say that for last 15 years, you can say, even if you exclude Tala, that is 2006. So almost, the 15 years we are completing after Tala commissioning. So in these last 15 years, we have commissioned 720 megawatt Mangdechu, two more projects, Pune Sanchu 1, 1200 megawatt, and the Pune Sanchu 2, 1020 megawatt, 1020 megawatt. These two projects are going on, and all efforts are being made to complete these two projects. In addition to this, if you see the list of the projects which have been identified for exploitation, there are 10 projects in which Kulangchu, which is 600 megawatt, is also awarded under joint venture. And
Right.
other projects are still under discussion. That is Chamkar 1 is a project which Bhutan wants to take up, but it is slightly costlier. And Sankosh is 2,560 megawatt. But the
Right.
point is, as you are asking that what to do, how to fast track these projects. You know,
Right.
if you look at the basic things, because we have been working in Bhutan, India and Bhutan together under IG model, that is intergovernmental model, which was framed, some time back, on which Thala was executed, then Magdachi was executed, and two other Poyers people and P2 are being executed. Now, under this situation, if you look at, we have to slightly improve our IG model bilateral agreement stipulations. The present stipulations are not adequate. To execute a mega-sized project, we have to improve upon the bilateral conditions, bilateral stipulations, articles which have been already written. This requires a review. Some improvement is needed in the bilateral agreement itself, the
Right.
protocol which we have signed. In addition to that, when it comes to execution part, we have to be very careful in Bhutan after having the P1 issue, that how to proceed with the project, whether you are 100% sure about all the components which you are placing there on the ground, and you will not be facing geological issues, geotechnical issues in future. For that, you have to be very careful with respect to DPR. You have to prepare a DPR, which is more dependable. Exhaustive investigations are needed. That is number one. Number two, we have to have, the detailed designing right in the beginning. We have to change, the things of the way we were doing the projects in past. That time is over. If you want to fast track the projects, then you should be more careful about designing part than about the costing part. So Khayanji Saab is here. I should say.
Yeah. Namaskar. Voice.
Yes. So now the issue is that with the past experiences, whatever we have gained, we must improve upon the design part. We must improve upon the execution, and of course the overall management of the project. So these aspects, the design. Why I'm telling design has to be, as we as a traditionally, we have been doing design work parallel to the execution. Most of the projects we have done in India or Bhutan, we have been doing the work parallel.
Right.
This is the traditional method of doing a project, and we have been following for many years. But now the time has come when we should be, little radical about it. We should start designing detailed design right in the beginning. When we go for tender, we should have a very detailed design tender-based quantities, so the deviations are minimized or arrested. Cost control is also, visible to the bureaucrats and diplomats, that everybody talks, no, this was signed for this cost, the cost has become double, triple. No, there are comments like that. So to control all this, we have to have the detailed designing right in the beginning. And then based on that, we should go for the BOQ, and based on that, we should go for tendering. These are the things which now we should improve. The traditional mindset has to be changed. We cannot depend on keep on doing the design parallel. The moment you are encountering any problem, you start, rethinking and redesigning things. There will be problems even then, but your approach towards solving them will be different. That these days, if you look at even the projects done in India or in Bhutan, we had been doing these, problem-solving exercise on a firefighting basis. Do something and then try to, experiment it and implement on the ground. Then something happens, then do it like this. These hit and trial method is required to be minimized. We should be very sure that whatever we are going to do will work and it will give you the results. That is what is now needed because everybody is watching us that whether we are successful or not. So
Right.
we have to be very careful about our own professional image, that whatever I am suggesting, whatever I am doing is sustainable, is going to sustain. We should not experiment too much. This experimentation part
Yeah.
is
No.
also creating a lot of problem among the engineering fraternity also. And of course, when it goes to administrative part, like when the things go to the bureaucrats or the diplomats, we always get bad, negative comments from that side because if their delays are there, they say that the project was planned for 5 years or 6 years, you have done in 10 years or whatever. So this delays, nobody likes. Cost increase, nobody likes. So we have to be now more careful while drafting the DPR, then while drafting the BOQ, while drafting the other things. And when we go for tendering part, then we should be very careful about that. So these are the two important things we should start inducting. I'm not telling that this will happen very easily. It will take some time, but the mindset should change. And once the mindset will change, you will find improvement. That is the first part. Second part, which I was just seeing, now the monitoring methods have changed. Now the conventional or traditional way of monitoring projects are no more efficient. So now what is the method? Now there is a better method available. Autodesk clouds are available, means you can monitor the entire project in a different techniques. You can monitor the productivity each day. You can monitor the productivity of the equipment, productivity of the manpower, overall things. So we should introduce those methods by we can monitor effectively how much I should have produced in a day and how much
Right.
I am lagging. What is happening, in fact, once we start doing a project, slowly they start drifting. Means you have to achieve something, you have not achieved it, then there is a delay. And this starts accumulating right from day one. Why we should not have a way out right at that point of time where you can address those issues and start correcting them. Once 1 year is gone, then you suddenly find that project is 6 months behind. 2 years gone, project is 1 year behind. Why we should have that type of a situation? Why we have not corrected things at the right time? No, this is also possible these days. There are techniques, there are methods by which we can improve upon. So monitoring has to be.
What you are effectively saying is a stitch in time makes 9, saves 9. A stitch in time saves 9. That is the old saying.
Yes,
that means if we take corrective course and actions in time, and as you rightly put, that the bureaucratic decisions part of it actually completely tie down sometimes the technical and project management people like. So it is always seen that bureaucracy takes time to make decisions. And unfortunately, in these situations where any problem comes, the project is sudden. At this juncture, I want to bring Khadanchi Saab. Khadanchi Saab, you can hear me? Khadanchi Saab,
yeah. Good evening, Professor. Good evening, Mr. Mishra, and all the viewers of your show. Yes, I have heard.
Khadanchi Saab, my question is like this.
And,
my question is on the specific subject. जो आपकी पुनः सांचू 1 में experiences थी, क्योंकि you are also just जैसे मिश्रा साहब ने मंगदेचो किया, आपने excellent ताला प्रोजेक्ट दिया भारत. तो you both are done justice to the country, both India and Bhutan. आप ये प्रोजेक्ट लाए, ये प्रोजेक्ट चुखा के बाद सबसे बड़े प्रोजेक्ट हैं, चाहे हम कुछ कहें ना कहें, ये बने हैं, and they are hardcore examples of India's success and Indo-Bhutan bilateral success. Under this condition, what happened to the Pune Sanchu issue? Because after your exit from Bhutan, there was absolutely very little movement.
No, after my exit, I won't know much. After my exit, I won't know much. But
I know, but what I am a critic, sir. I am a journalist, and I'm also a man who understands this sector, an engineer also. I have seen that the way you did project management and things like that, I have not seen the replication. I have not seen a proactive method to sort out problems.
No, I'll tell you a little.
Especially Pune Sanchu 1. I'm not talking of 2. 2 was moving.
No, I'm
Fine.
talking of Pune Sanchu 1. Pune Sanchu 1 has suffered at only one site, that is its dam site. The rest of the project, although as difficult as any other hydropower project of this magnitude and in Himalayas, same country, but problem occurred which was much more than what we have elsewhere for a dam.
Yeah, I was there. I was there. That was when the dam was when the earth was moving. I was there. I was there in Bhutan and with you.
Yeah.
So I know what happened.
I want to recall, and also for the viewers who are going through it for the first time, this dam is unique. Instance, gravity dam to be founded on rock, which is 80 meters in the river bed. From the deepest river point, you have to excavate 80 meters, then alone you reach the foundations for doing a gravity dam. And now the gorge has its own limitations in length.
Right. We lost your voice, sir. Again, the picture is gone. We'll continue, sir. Anedo. Mishra Saab.
Going 80 meters deep, what will happen to these two sides? Both sides, both banks of the river start collapsing. And invariably, you see the geological formation. One bank is good and that is not that good. And the one which is not that good will naturally slip more. It has happened at a number of projects. We have done treatment of the abutments, deep stitching with cable anchors, high-strength cable anchors, and retained it. Unfortunately, in this case, it is so deep. As I said, it's unique first time. It was becoming extremely difficult, and ultimately, the blame came on the slide of that area. That entire area, about 1.5 kilometers length, they said is a slide zone. Agreed.
Right. Right, sir. Sir, what we need to keep it is, we need to keep in this program very clear and brief, you know, because the viewer will be not getting into the technical issues too much. I would say keep it less technical.
I want to bring to your notice the decision-making process. The decision-making process is, when you start working on it, then you have to certainly think of the both abutments to be retained properly.
Yeah. Now I have a plain question. I have a plain question to you. Now the NHPC has given a recommendation of an upstream barrage. Now, when the recommendation is there, should we not now waste no more time? Because we also talked of CFRD, and I think Mishra Saab gave a complete idea of CFRD, that somehow that path was not taken. The other option is taken, which is basically the upstream barrage. Let us say, okay, we agree to the upstream barrage. Now, why the things are not moving? I am coming to the present. You know, we know what are the problems. Isme kya hua? Then Boyer came. Boyer did a lot of work, and they are a piling company. They have no idea about geology and other things. You know, Boyer is basically a piling company. So I want to say, now you come to a conclusion. There is a general agreement that a barrage has to be done, and it is coming from the NHPC. So what is stopping us from moving forward in that direction?
No, that's what I'm telling you. You need the headrest tunnel from the new diversion site, which is going to be a barrage, to the one which is already connected, already constructed. So doing that entire area, you have again to be investigating it very thoroughly. It should not happen, burnt once is shine twice. It should not happen that something else comes up while doing the main headrest tunnel, or that reach of a few kilometers. So that investigation takes its own time. Then preparing the details for the new location, including all the tendering process of having found the quantities to be done, and then shortlisting people, it takes its own time. Yes, you are right. As I would know,
I am very clear, sir. Why
is it enough or not?
See, why we don't take a war footing exercise? Always we say there is more time, more time needed. There is no, people don't have patience. See, people have seen the project going and there is a decision already made. I feel I feel a different thing. I feel the Central Water Commission is taking a position which is diplomatically dangerous for India, because they want to talk about how not to do the project. NHPC talks about how to execute the project. I want to be very clear on this program and let viewers know what is my view. It is, you have to tell CWC that let NHPC execute this and finish the job. See, there is a record to this. See, we can't keep on doing studies. International people have come and sat there and they have done the study. It is like we will lose our entire grip on the project. Both India and Bhutan will lose the grip. See, Bhutanese will obviously feel that they wanted to take a third party view on this, and we can't say that they don't want to take it. They have taken it. Now they come. They also have trust on NHPC. They have full trust on NHPC execution skills and also their supervisory skills. So why not execute the project when you know this is the right way? Why we are dilly-dallying the thing? We can't again say we'll continue for eternity the investigation. It is not going to happen that way. Mishra Saab, wo abhi line pe nahi hai. I think whether he can hear my voice, but maybe you can address him while
I'm able to listen to you. You see, what you have raised is a question that why we are not moving fast and let us adopt the barrage proposal. This is what you were telling. And
अगर वो मान लिया, चलो majority हमारी बात नहीं मानती है. Let us say we had also given CFRD could be done, provided you need expertise. उसमें difficulties थी, and as खजांची साहब says, both the sides they were not stable. अब ये तो engineering discovery है, ये किसी ने कोई plan तो नहीं किया था, geological surprise है. But now we have a solution. So the solution cannot be delayed. Solution में तो आप war footing पे काम करिए ना. आप हर बार time निकालना चाह रहे हैं, कोई मतलब नहीं है ना. खजांची साहब, आपने जब काम किया, आपने टाइम थोड़ी वेस्ट किया, आपने ताला बना के दिया. इधर इन्होंने भी मंदिर को खड़ा कर दिया.
I will tell you, in this case, if you find there is a delay after the decision taken for a barrage, a new location for the diversion of water, then we will have to find out who is responsible. That's and that correction has to be made. That correction has to be made. You have to find what level, who has done it. When you say Central Water Commission, I don't fully agree, because no responsible organization like Central Water Commission, on whom Government of India depends for everything connected to water and water energy, agriculture, defense, there's a flood control, everything, irrigation.
Sorry, sir, I'm coming in between here. They did hundreds of meetings making no decision, and we have a record of those meetings. I am very critical because it has to be done. It's a great organization, but it needs leadership. At this point, it was only a blame game. किसी ने कोई nobody wanted to welcome.
But
अब चलो वो बात खत्म हो गई है.
What is the
Bhutanese are accepting.
Now they have also agreed it's out of their court.
You tell me today, when Bhutanese are accepting the NHPC solution, why we are discussing the same thing? Let Central Water Commission say we made an error. What is the problem?
No, whether they say it was an error or not an error, most important is this is the decision.
This is the ego. आप देखिए, आप छोड़ दीजिए, आपसे उस समय नहीं हुआ, कोई बात नहीं हुआ, कोई थोड़ी पहाड़ टूट रहा है. आप NHPC को उसका बरार आप एग्री कर रहे हैं, बराज सोल्यूशन, फिर आप उसको बना के खत्म करिए. Why we are now in the bilateral quagmire and everybody is only discussing Puna Sancho and वो और extend हो रहा है, और 3 साल लगा देंगे, 4 साल लगाएंगे इस तरीके से.
But that's what I am telling you. The Central Water Commission is not to be blamed after the decision is already taken.
Today, I am in no mood to accept this argument कि आप इसको और कोई डिप्लोमेसी नहीं चलेगी. ये भारत सरकार की ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में आप जो जिनको चीफ बना रहे हैं, जिनको सेंट्रल वाटर कमीशन के जो चेयरमैन बना रहे हैं, they should be under pressure. In fact, the PMO should question them कि तुम क्या कर रहे हो वहां पर.
But is he in charge of the monitoring?
Sir, one thing is there. ये इंडो भूटान बायलैटरल का इशू है. बायलैटरल में अगर आपने बियॉन्ड द पॉइंट उसको डिले किया हो, वही बातें करी जो पिछले कई सालों से कर रहे हैं, तो आई एम टेलिंग यू वी आर ब्रेकिंग अप. The concerned project in charge has been sitting there and he's waiting for retirement. I don't want to name him. The hard reality is we must come to a conclusion. If you can't execute, put a leader who can execute.
That's what I'm telling you. That correction is to be made without telling you details who did what and why what not. Without
that is like doing PSG again.
Having
we can have a PSG on why it failed, why it happened, why the earth moved. Today that is over. Today,
Okay,
ex CMD NHPC Balraj Joshi also came to Barrage solution. ठीक है, कोई तो solution हुआ, दोनों में से एक solution तो हुआ, and we were accepting both solutions. Inertia has accepted both solutions. CFRD 2, if it was a difficult thing, but also we have accepted the Barrage solution. We have talked to tens of experts. Both could be done.
Right.
Some people did not
Right,
agree to one.
sir.
खर्चा तो दोनों में होना था. खर्चा
No,
तो दोनों में होना है.
no.
मतलब
When is the
more
no?
expenditure
When
would
is
have
the
done.
when is the decision taken? Now we have to
Now the
think. Now when
now
is
the
the
decision
decision
to
taken?
me, sir, the decision that seems to me is Barrage has to be done and to be done quickly,
Right.
and Boyer and all international concerns agreed to it. There is no difference in that. It is now in the ball is in the court of Central Water Commission and others to accept कि ये रास्ता लेना है और इसको करो.
So they
और
have
इसके
not
budget
accepted
देने हैं
still.
फटाफट.
Then it needs government intervention at the ministry's level.
That's what I'm saying.
If the decision is
Decision-making.
pending, I thought you are telling me that the decision is already made. Decision of
The
doing
decision
a
is
barrage
made in
is already
principle.
made.
Decision is made in principle, but not on paper. It is not moved.
No, where is the, that's what I'm telling you. If the paper is pending somewhere, then that particular organization has to be held. Yes.
Obviously, that's why I'm naming. I'm saying it is the duty of the Ministry of External Affairs, PMO, and the Central Water Commission to ensure that projects don't hang fire in Bhutan. So on this, I have how many minutes I have, my friend? I have got 6 minutes.
To
I have
that
got
I
6
agree.
minutes. उसके बाद मैं फिर से ये another 45 minutes के लिए आऊंगा. लेकिन I want this answer. I want this answer before we go to the next session. Quickly, 30 seconds. Khadanchi Saab first, and then Mishra Saab.
I will again repeat, find the person or the persons who have now stalled it. Means it's almost
Yes.
stalled at that level. And yes, take
Yes.
action, replace, change. Yes, why not? Make the necessary correction. I agree.
Right.
If a
Absolutely.
decision in principle is taken, finally something to be recorded is approved and signed. All those people, all those organizations who have finally started should be geared up again, and they should be told why not to do it, and they must do it and make the changes.
Agreed.
Yeah, with that I agree that anybody.
So my point is,
Yes.
sir, we have now come to a position where we have to take actions. You know, people responsible for the project have to hold the ownership of the project and take. Either they should do or they should resign. If people sitting in Bhutan at the head of the project are not moving, they should resign and go. Why they are wasting the time of both the countries? अपना मिश्रा साहब, मैं थोड़ा ruthless बोल रहा हूँ, लेकिन don't you find? See, either we do it or we are afraid to do it, and we only want to sit there. It is no point.
So, Iyer Saab, there are two very important points actually. The first point is that barrage was proposed, but the consultant who is proposing the barrage has also not very categorically stated that dam cannot be done at the present axis, where the dam is to be done.
Right.
Now, the point is, barrage proposal has been studied by foreign consultants, Stucky, based at Switzerland. But the cross question is that whether the possibility of building dam there itself, where it is being done, is ruled out. That clarity is not there. It's very subjective, number one. Number two, we have already spent 2,200 crores plus.
Yeah.
Now, if you go for barrage, you have to work out the sunk cost. Sunk cost,
Right.
if you take theoretically, it will be something like 3,000 crore plus. That
Okay,
means
another 2,000 crore plus or 3,000 crore.
the present dam access, we have already spent so much money. The present dam, where you are excavating and doing the dam, you have spent 2,200 crores. Only on
Right. So
dam
therefore,
component.
आप कह रहे हैं कि और एक 2-3 हजार करोड़ और spend होगा. Another 2,000-3,000 crores are needed.
So what I'm telling is, there are two things involved. First, there is no clear-cut and technical analysis without any subjectivity that dam cannot be done at the present axis. There's nothing clear-cut, technically speaking, number one. Number two, sunk cost. We have already spent 2,200 crores.
Quickly, because this link will go, so I have to close. I will come back again with the
So
discussion.
now my point is that
हमारे पास सिर्फ 30 सेकंड है खाली.
we,
I have to
we,
close.
we have to answer these two questions as
Yes,
professional.
Yes.
Whether I am sure that I cannot do this dam here technically. That is point number one. Point
Right.
number two, government is ready to waive off the expenditure which I have already incurred, which is a sunk cost to the project. If you theoretically calculate, it will be more than 3,000 crores.
Right.
These are two important points. Third point is, which is from my side, that there is a technique available. I am talking analysis, non-linear analysis I proposed when Khazanji sir was going. Soon after that, I said to the government that there is a method to analyze this dam axis in 3 dimensions, including the abutments, by which you can
Sir,
be very
now-
sure, dynamic
we will-
analysis.
Yeah,
whether
Mishra
the
Sahab,
dam
we
can
will
be done
continue.
here or not.
Mishra Sahab, we please here, we will continue because we have a link breakup and we'll come back on the same link in another 2 minutes. So with this, it's a very exciting discussion. We have two stalwarts, both of them have put their perspective, one common agreement that we have to move forward with the decision, clear decision to build the Puna Sanchu project. And we have to take this way or that way. And I'm coming back on the next slide with further bring this entire discourse, very exciting discourse. Don't go away. Stay on, my friends. On my show, Professor Iyer's show. See you again.